Yo, what's happening? It's BenjaminDeSouza here, the Prince. And I would like to speak about a classic that I did about a year ago called Genetics Predator Style, Part 1 and Part 2, might I add. So if you come across this video, please go back and have a look at those, because I had some data in front of me when I laid that out. But this topic got rehashed on Mr. Fantastic's panel about Kobe Bryant and these heifers clucking and squawking and carrying on about the Mamba, talking that shit. And a fella by the name of Top Cat, Turn Up, hopped on the panel and he started talking shit about surrogacy, saying very disparaging things about it. And then he said something else. He alluded to another point he made, and it was about another video. And ironically enough, the other point that he made was another video that I had made. I forgot what it was. I had to go back in the stream and re-listen to it. And that's what prompted me to hop on the panel, because I'm like, is this nigga, has he been listening to my motherfucking shit? You know what I'm saying? Has he been listening to my shit? But, it could just be a coincidence. But anyway, I hopped on the panel and made my point, or made my point to the best of my ability. But, the brother, Top Cat, is really not the sharpest knife in the drawer, man. I was going to try to lay out a real in-depth point to him by using movie references and whatnot as metaphors. And he started dragging his knuckles. You know what I mean? But knuckle draggers, that's what they do. They drag their fucking knuckles. So it's all good. I asked the brother, had he ever seen the movie 300, and he goes, "Oh, I don't watch it." "Have you seen the movie The Predator?" "No, I don't watch TV." Nigga, everybody has seen at least one Predator movie, and everybody has seen the movie 300. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just being obtuse, and I knew he was, but it's nothing. It's nothing to your highness, man. It's nothing to the prince, bro. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make by using the 300 movie is, in the 300 movie, the boys were taken away from their home at, I believe, the age of 10, 11, 12, somewhere around in there. And they were put through a rigorous Spartan school, and they were trained to be warriors in the Spartan Empire. And that essentially is a metaphor for what I was laying out as it pertains to surrogacy. But it's just on steroids, because the boys are taken away from the women and put through that school of Spartanhood, if you will, immediately. Like, as soon as they're born, they're put into that school. You know what I'm saying? And then I used the movie The Predator, because a lot of my metaphors and a lot of my concepts to much of my channel really is based on the Predator series, whether it be movies, video games, just comic books, just basically the whole Predator fucking universe or whatever. And I'll go into another video, because I've been meaning to do that, and I'll go in depth explaining the Alien versus Predator concept, because I used to rock with the Predator avatar a lot, but now I'm switching up my avatars and shit. But anyway, in the Predator movies, the Predators would go around the galaxy hunting different species, and what they were doing is they were extracting DNA from the best of these species and then engrafting that DNA within their DNA. You know what I'm saying? So essentially making themselves better, you know what I'm saying? Better at whatever their mission statement was, whatever their purpose was, And I was looking at it from that aspect as well, as far as surrogacy is concerned, because shout out to MBD and shout out to SYSBM, even though I'm on the outs with a lot of them. But quality stargates matter, man. Quality stargates matter, and it's all fun and games, this whole dating and casual sex thing, and it's all fun and games, you feel me? Until that bitch get pregnant. And then all of a sudden now she's empowered, you feel me? And a wayward bitch that's all of a sudden empowered is gonna do what those type of people are gonna do, And as far as doing it the old-fashioned way, the traditional way, the court a female, get married, then have children that way. I'm not against that. In a perfect world, I would like to do that. I'm not my philandering days are behind me. You feel me? But that's all fun and games until she decides to hit the red button. You know what I mean? And then just within a span of 2 months, destroy what you've worked your entire life to build up, Because I've spoken about this. It takes a lot more work and a lot more intelligence and perseverance to actually build something that is great, On the other hand, it doesn't take much to destroy some shit. You know what I'm saying? Both aspects, build and destroy, they both exhibit power in a sense. It takes a level of power to build, and it takes a level of power to destroy. You know what I mean? As the old adage says, Rome wasn't built in a day. But it didn't take the Vandals or the Visigoths much time to completely sack and burn that motherfucker down. You know what I'm saying? And as it pertains to men and women, men have the power to build and destroy. That's what sets us apart from women, because women do not have the power to build. They just don't. You can throw out whatever intrepid woman you want to, and you can champion her up and laud her as this great builder, but by and large, women just aren't builders. You know what I mean? But they do have an extraordinary ability to destroy. And as it is today, these women are so solipsistic, selfish, and just drunk with power. Power that they have not achieved on their own, but power that has been artificially given to them by state-sanctioned laws and certain social mores and certain acceptable cultural things depending on what community you come from. So that is a perfect storm for this destructive behavior that you see a lot of these females engaging in today. These women have no qualms to just hit the red button, put their family, their husband, boyfriend, or baby daddy, and child and or children on the altar to be sacrificed to their selfish desires. They have no problem doing it. They will hit that motherfucking red button, blow the whole shit up, and don't give a fuck about the fallout and who the said fallout affects. They call that being empowered. They don't, oh no, nigga, you not, even though I got your child and it's best for me to listen to you and listen to your instruction on how things should go, you can't hold me down and oppress me. So I'm gonna hit the red button and just blow this shit up. because I'm a liberated, strong, independent woman who don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? These bitches will hit the red button with the quickness, and then we'll get on the phone with her motherfucking girlfriends or her aunties or her mama or something to get the launch codes. You know what I mean? A lot of these bitches are literally walking around at DEFCON 5. Straight up. I mean, you talking about a fucking nuclear holocaust waiting to happen when it comes to dealing with some of these bitches. So, with the whole surrogacy piece, that mitigates that risk altogether. That takes that woman's selfish, solipsistic, and destructive nature. That takes those deleterious components of her being completely off the fucking table. You know what I'm saying? So right off the bat, even if there are some cons and whatnot, shout out to SKC. He was on the panel too. I'll get to some of his shit here in a minute. But cons aside, when you take those deleterious components of just dealing with a female in this society, and you take those off the table, you're already starting at a net positive. You're already in the black. That child is already 5 steps ahead of the average child. You know what I mean? Because you have removed that shit off the table. You've removed the fuckery. You have set things in place. And another thing, man, shout out to SKC, man, because we had a conversation on Obsidian's panel just yesterday, and he was talking about, we was talking about like the family cookout and shit, right? And SKC was saying that, he doesn't, for the most part, attend much of his family gatherings, his family cookouts and shit. What he does in turn is that he will set up gatherings and whatnot on his terms, on his terrain, and on his time. And then he invites hand-picked, selected family members of his who he wants to join said party. What has he done in doing that? He said he has taken the potential of certain rogue family members, certain wild, feral family members from engaging in any fuckery and blowing up the spot. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. So by saying, you know what, I'm not gonna come to Big Mama's cookout, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go to this neurosurgeon. I'm gonna take my kids to this neurosurgeon fair or this robotics fair, and my sister Tammy, she can come and she can bring her kid, because her kid is around the same age as my son, and my brother Michael, he can come and he can bring her daughter, and he can bring his daughter, because they're around the same age as my kids. So he has taken the deleterious elements off the table. Same holds true here as far as this surrogate mother piece is concerned. The main premise of it is to make sure that we circumvent the woman's destructive nature by completely, taking her decision-making abilities off the table. And another thing he said, or another thing that was broached was, the child may what was that? They said the child may be kind of socially deprived in a sense for not having his or her mother in the house and only having one parent. Well, what I wanted to get on, I didn't get a chance to say this, but I wanted to get on the panel and respond to that, because if you can massage the situation and you got the money and you got the drive to work and get the money, what you can do is you can kind of massage the situation and parlay an independent contract with the mother and set her up as the nanny. You know what I mean? You've already set up a contract with the surrogate company and the woman to pay her for the child, right? Then you can come to her after the fact and say, hey, look, I'll pay you $20,000 a year American if you come back with me to the States and raise our child together as a nanny for, let's say, the next 7 years, 7 years. You know what I mean? That way, she can be in the child's life. The maternal instinct will be there with her, because technically not technically, but literally that is her child. You feel me? So, you winning, coming and going, yeah, you're going to have to pay. And then, once the child is, let's say, 7, 8, maybe even 9, if you can parlay it into that, if you can parlay it that long, when the child is old enough to get to middle school and basically kind of be a latchkey kid, if you will, or whatever the case, then, you can thank her for her services and, while she's here and while she's being a nanny or something, being a nanny for you and shit and take care of the kids, and you're paying her and shit, she can be going to fucking, when a kid goes to elementary school, she could be going to college, getting a degree and shit. You know what I mean? Then she gets out of class, the child gets out of class, she go pick the kid up from school or whatever, and then she goes back to doing her nanny shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole bunch of variations. Now, I don't know the legality behind that per se, as far as setting up an independent contract with said woman for her to be a nanny after the fact, after she bores your child. I don't know that, but I'm just spitballing, man. I'm just throwing out ideas, man. It's what I do, man. I'm a thinker. I think of new shit. You know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers here in the ministry, they really been taking my shit, or they're coming to shit that I came to years ago. They just now come getting up on game. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you can possibly parlay it that way. And I mean, who knows? Who knows? She may, 3-4 years into her being a nanny, she may start getting feelings for you, and you may start developing feelings for her, and y'all may just be like, all right, well, shit, you can stick around. You feel me? That way you vetted her throughout her nanny process, her nanny years, and you could possibly just say fuck it, and retire her, put her jersey up in the rafters. I don't know. It's up to you, man. But yeah, that way, there's already, as far as going through a surrogate, there's already a process. They let you know the woman's blood type, her medical history, her IQ, her phenotype, weight, height, family health history and shit. So you'll be basically choosing the best Stargate, literally the best Stargate that money can buy. I don't see where the drawback is from that. You know what I mean? I just don't. But yeah, though, man, this is BenjaminDeSouza. Yeah, man, genetics, predator style, part 3. Get up on that.